Hello everyone, welcome to Movie Talk. Today I'm going to be talking about The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. This movie was started to make the appearances on film festivals like the Toronto Film Festival and the London Film Festival, all of the sort of things. And it wasn't, I think, released in the cinemas yet. Maybe in some countries, but at least here on my country, Portugal, it hasn't been. At least I haven't seen it in the cinema. So I found my way to watch it, if you know what I mean. And I've seen it, and this is a holiday movie. Well, it's basically a holiday movie because it happens on Christmas. It's a holiday movie, and I'm going to be talking about it because I found this movie. I don't want to spoil anything. A curmudgeonly instructor at a New England prep school is forced to remain on campus during Christmas break to babysit a handful of students with nowhere to go. Eventually, he forms an unlikely bond with one of them, a damaged, brainy troublemaker, and with the school's head cook who has just lost a son in Vietnam. First things first, I loved this movie. It's my first Alexander Payne movie that was a director, and after this movie, I'm very excited to see more of his work. Like, I've heard that this is not even his best movie. So I'm really excited to see what he have offers more in his other movies. I have never heard about him before this movie. I've never heard about his name. I've never heard about his works. Like, now I know that he has made Nebraska, but before I didn't. Before I watched this movie and searched for the director, I didn't know that movie existed. So I'm excited to see more of his work because I loved what he did in this movie. As I've said, it happens in Christmas, that time, like beginning middle of December, and it goes from New Year and the holiday season. Just as we have the spooky season, we also have the holiday season. It's that kind of stuff. I loved this movie. I was in a bit of a hangover in movies. I wasn't watching much stuff. If you go to my Letterboxd profile, I was actually not watching much movies. Like as you've seen, in November, I watched few movies. Like in November, I only watched 6 movies. I did that on my what I watched this month video. And this month I started really badly. Also, I only watched a movie like in the first week, and now I watched the Holdovers, and this movie made me feel happy to watch movies again. Basically, it's not that I didn't like the other movies that I was watching, but this one stood out so much. I liked so much the story that now I just wanna watch more movies. Now, talking about the movie itself, the thing that impressed me the most were the dialogues, the script. But it was a script, but I want to specify that more on the dialogues. Amazingly, this movie has some very complex dialogues, and at the same time very normal between the characters. Like, we see the conversations flowing. Also, of course, this is in this movie is happening in the 1960s, so of course the vocabulary was a bit different, but it's not that much of a difference. There are some stuff, there are some expressions, but it's not how we see in this movie. It's mostly because it's a school. We have here a really high level school with smart people. The professor is a professor in ancient history, so of course it's going to have a more um, complex vocabulary, let's say it that way. And it's something that I liked it really. I was even the professor, Mr. Hanem, I think that was the name. I'm going to talk about him later because I love that character. Even when he goes to offend somebody, he does it in such a specific way that is just really funny. Talking about the script, not just the dialogues, the script itself, the development of the characters, and the way the story is built around them is so captivating that at a certain point I was so immersed in the movie that I was feeling it. I was feeling the movie. When I had to stop the movie, I had to pause it at some point because I had to do something. I don't really remember what. I just came back to reality. I was so immersed in the experience of the movie, which is something great to experience. That I got into the world of the movie. I haven't mentioned this yet, but this is a comedy movie. Of course, we can expect like holidays movie. What are you expecting? It's not a rom com, which is definitely good. Now, I've said the development of the characters is amazing, and specifically the three main characters, of course, because those are the ones that we spend the most the time. That is Mr. Hanem, the professor. We have Mr. Tull, Angus something. I don't remember the name, and Mary. Of course, Angus is the student, Mr. Hanem is the professor, and Mary is the cook. Mr. Hanem is interpreted by Paul Giamatti. I think that's the pronunciation. It's a bit hard, actually, this name. I didn't heard about him. I now seen that he's really famous. He has done like big movies. Yeah, he's in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's in The Truman Show and the other stuff also. I didn't know him. It was my first movie, and I want to see more of it because he delivers an amazing performance. I had no idea when going to this movie who the actor was, and I think that's the thing that makes great acting. Like we can recognize easily when he's great acting, or maybe not. Maybe I'm here talking a bit of nonsense. But what I feel is when you know the actor, like Leonardo DiCaprio, you go to watch the movie and you see Leonardo DiCaprio. You don't see his character. The first thing you think is Leonardo DiCaprio. Like in Killers of the Flower Moon, everyone said that maybe Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't as great in that movie, which I think is completely nonsense. It's blasphemous. He's amazing. I think he's the best in that movie. But people go watch the movie. The first thing they see is Leonardo DiCaprio. The first thing they think is, oh, the actor is Leonardo DiCaprio. So it takes them a bit out of the movie, which I think this movie didn't because I don't know any actors. And that's the thing that I think it's the most relevant to identify a great actor. Maybe not. Maybe it's completely the other way around. Maybe when the actor is so great, he can deflect the attention of the audience from the real world to the fictional world, the movie, of course. Maybe, but when the actor is unknown, I just see the character. I think that's maybe that's not how great acting works. Maybe it's the other way around, but I think that's the way. At least it makes me when I'm watching the movie. When I don't know the actor, I get more immersed in the story. Talking about acting, of course, Paul Giamatti, I think he deserves a nomination, at least a nomination for Best Actor. With a year that we have like Cillian Murphy and Leonardo DiCaprio fighting for the best actor in a leading role, it's gonna be very hard to beat those two guys. And I don't think this guy is gonna beat, but I believe he is gonna be at least in the nomination for the Oscar. And if he is not nominated, I think it's just nonsense from the Academy. Like this guy delivers so much in this movie. It's amazing how he does it. This movie, as I've mentioned before, is in the 60s, and I got the vibe right on the first shot, basically, in this movie. It's just a feel good movie. You go or watch the movie, you can't stop because it's a comedy, so of course you're already going to be a bit of a more disposed to watch the movie because you want to get some laughs sometimes, and you definitely do. There are some incredible there is some incredible humor in this movie. It's really fun, but I think that it's not completely focused on the humor, and I think this is where great directors differentiate from the middle to bad directors, because a bad director will make a comedy and just get laughs out of the public. This movie, no, we create a bond with the characters because the script is so well done. I'm here talking about the script. Well, the screenwriter isn't the director, but it's very intercommunicating, because the director is the guy that makes the final choice. Is everything in the movie goes through the director's hand, and he picks with what thing he wants and what thing he doesn't want. So, of course, I'm assuming that Alexander Payne made this movie as he wanted, and I think he done it in a perfect way. It's not a perfect movie, don't get me wrong, but it's an amazing movie. It's a really nice surprise from this year. It's something that I wasn't expecting, because I had seen people say that this movie was amazing, and people were really liking this movie, but I didn't get the vibe from the synopsis, and I didn't see the trailer, so maybe that's why I didn't get my expectations that high. But sometimes not getting the expectations that high is a great thing. For the Holdovers, I give a 9 out of 10. Yes, this movie is gonna enter my top 10 of the year, definitely. Talking about top 10 of the year, I have to start thinking about it, because the year is ending, and because I only post like one video per week, I'm gonna have to make my top 10 soon. I'm gonna have to make top 10 soon. And if you go through my channel, I only started this in like July, right around the Barbenheimer era. So you're not gonna see reviews from movies that are a bit past in the year, a bit earlier in the year. But some movies there are there, and some you can very easily identify which are going to be on my top 10. And I've already spoken so much about the movie that I'm gonna put on first place. That is my favorite movie of the year so far. I haven't watched some movies actually. I wanna watch some stuff still. Like I still wanna watch Napoleon, Poor Things, Saltburn, Dream Scenario. Um, there are other stuff that I wanna watch. So the top 10 isn't clearly made, but I have to start thinking about it. And the Holdovers is definitely here. So, guys, don't go with high expectations for some movies, but with this movie, I assure you that you're gonna have a great time, and I assure you that you're gonna like it. Maybe not like as much as I did, but you're definitely gonna like it, because this is a really great movie. So go watch this movie for your own opinion, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.